A plurality of Americans sympathize more with Palestinians than with Israelis for the first time in Gallup polling history. Izzy Breen says, liberal Zionists won't even call themselves Zionists anymore. Among American Jews under the age of 35, people who call themselves anti-Zionists or non-Zionists outnumber those who identify as Zionists. The end of the bipartisan consensus is here.
The Israelis basked in an aura of invincibility, governing and being responsible for 1 million Palestinians in the newly occupied Gaza Strip, West Bank, and Jerusalem. By sunrise on day 2, it looked as if the war had been an unequivocal success for Egypt's armed forces. 100,000 men, more than 1,000 tanks, and over 10,000 other vehicles had crossed the Suez Canal with only minimal losses.
On 18th, 1982, a campaign of killing took place at the Sabra and Shatila refugee camps in Lebanon. What happened was described by the UN as an act of genocide. With the backing of invading Israeli forces, a right-wing Lebanese Christian armed group called the Phalange attacked the Palestinian camps in Beirut. According to multiple reports, up to 3,500 men, women, and children were killed. For nearly 40 hours, civilians were raped, tortured, and
this dynamic where Israel was favored by 60%, where Palestinians could barely break over 20% sympathy in the eyes of many Americans, was kept together by a multi-billion-dollar propaganda initiative. A lot of money was spent to make sure that Americans did not learn the truth.
No American president will let Israel go down the tube. Right. Democrat or Republican, it's not an issue.
But as President of the United States, I paid no attention to him, carried out what I thought was right, and I had the support of the Congress, and I could do it.
Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel.
And that went on for almost 80 years. That's the reason why I always stress to people who became diehard advocates, anti-Zionist, pro-Palestinian advocates overnight, that this struggle has been ongoing for almost a century. Obviously, it meant hundreds of thousands of deaths on the Palestinian side, okay? While there is truth in this assessment that, like, this death toll is unimaginable, will you stand by the side and go, I don't know, this is not moving the needle fast enough for my taste? Or will you become a part of this movement?
Why am I here? Because we must be here. Because we're human beings, and that's what matters.
Welcome to the Creators for Palestine live stream.
I think we're watching, you know, one of the sickest things that's ever happened.
Some of you genuinely do make perfect the enemy of good. You miss the small progress that is necessary to make that big leap, okay? Revolution doesn't happen spontaneously. It requires diligence. It requires a steadfast approach. It requires messaging discipline. It requires organizational discipline, because it turns out if you are disciplined, you can actually put a dent in one of the most sophisticated and most pervasive propaganda machines that has ever existed. Because this didn't happen because there was a lot of moneyed interest on the pro-Palestinian advocacy side. This only happened because people were like, this is wrong, and I will do everything in my power to educate those around me. I will do everything in my power to pull them, to get them to also protest. I will go to jail if it's necessary. I will get yelled at. I will be doxxed. I will be harassed. I will be swatted, but it doesn't matter, because this is the truth. You have to lean into the small victories that you get along the way to maintain your revolutionary optimism. Because slowly but surely, brick by brick, you build this movement, and one day you look back and you go, wow, I can't believe we're here.